morning you guys, it's Karen and I'm here to do a review of this. I wasn't going to do a review of this. It's the Becca Soft Light, what's it called? I've got it up on here, Soft Light Blurring Powder. I wasn't going to do a review because I assumed there'd be hundreds on YouTube, but actually I looked it up and there wasn't many. So I thought I would do one for you. I used this yesterday, today, and I used it one other day during the week with a different foundation. Yesterday I detested the way I used it, and this morning I've just put it on this one side and then realised I was going to do a video on it, or then decided I was going to do a video, so I've left it on here and we'll have a look at it close up. But I wanted to look at the claims. I was actually filming a haul and I was going to show it as part of the haul, and as I was talking about it in the context of a haul, I thought, you know what, this is so much money, people are going to want to know more in-depth information, and I don't even know what the description is and how it's recommended to use it. I'm terrible for that. I just get it and use it how I think. I'm a bit of a nightmare. Anyway, so I thought I would read the description and claims and then I can tell you what I think of it from there and see if I'm doing anything wrong. I have been using this brush, which is the brush number 13 from Wayne Goss, and sort of just buffing it lightly over my face. So it says it's a real life wearable beauty filter, translucent loose setting powder. Okay, firstly I would say to me it's not translucent at all, but loose setting powder acts as a veil to blur imperfections and set makeup with a subtle luminosity that adds dimension whilst eliminating shine for a natural perfected finish. Okay, let me talk about the points in there. Like I said, I don't think that this is translucent because that's what I don't like about it. That's the colour in there. And this is the colour on the skin. So that is peach to me, it's not translucent. Maybe I'm missing the point. I know that translucent is about, you could have a peach translucent, something that you can see through, but the problem I had yesterday when I wore it is it made me look like I had the wrong colour foundation on. I will insert, if I can, a clip of me wearing it because I actually filmed a video yesterday morning that I didn't end up putting up because not only did I needed to wash my hair and it was just all scraped to the side in a strange plait, but I also looked at my skin and I thought, oh my goodness, that looks terrible. So I'll insert a picture so you can see, or a bit of video. It says that it is a loose setting powder. I used it as a setting powder yesterday and didn't like it for that. Set makeup with a subtle luminosity. Definitely agree with the subtle luminosity. It is a beautiful, soft feeling, satiny type powder. Really, really lovely, and it's definitely a subtle luminosity. It doesn't look shiny or anything on my hand. That adds dimension while eliminating shine for a natural perfected finish. To me, it didn't eliminate shine. Maybe a little bit. It took a little bit of shine away for me, and then added shine, in my opinion. But I don't know whether that's just, I've always been an oily girl up until what, the last 6 months or so, since being on my hormone medication, and now I would say my skin is normal with some oiliness, and it can also be dehydrated, but I guess I'm paranoid about looking oily, and because of my problems with oil I never ever want to look shiny. So I might show you a picture or a video, whatever, if I've still got the footage, and you might think it looks luminous and I think it looks shiny, if you know what I mean. So it then goes on to say, it goes beyond the benefits of traditional setting powder to create the ultimate dream filter. Feather light, fine powder. It is a beautiful powder. It is feather light. It does remind me of the Laura Mercier setting powder, because it looks quite substantial there, but when it goes on, it is very, very fine and soft, and not heavy. Ceramic microspheres softly scatter light to blur imperfections and smooth and even the complexion. For me, it doesn't blur my pores at all. In fact, that's something I could see yesterday and I was like, it's actually bringing attention to my pores rather than blurring them. Everything else it may blur because of the way the light catches, you know, but I think you'd want to have fairly good skin before using this. I think it's something that highlights. I don't necessarily think it blurs imperfections, because I don't know, it wouldn't blur fine lines, it doesn't blur pores. What other imperfections would you want to blur? Did that make sense? Hopefully it did. The universally flattering shade Golden Hour, I don't think it's universally flattering, sets makeup, prolongs wear and refreshes any look for a perfect complexion day to night. It did not prolong the wear, definitely not. Today I am wearing the Bourjois Healthy Mix Foundation, which I also wore yesterday, and I couldn't decide if it was this or that, but looking at it today so far, I'd say the problem was the powder, not the foundation. Yeah, I feel like I've got a completely different look today using the same. It says it creates a flattering veil that does not cake or settle into fine lines and pores and has a velvety finish. I think it did feel cakey to me, unfortunately. It does have a velvety finish. I didn't put it around my lines. I didn't buff it in here. I maybe buffed it in as far as here. The last step in your makeup routine can also be used throughout the day to refresh your look. Works perfectly with a kabuki brush. Let's see what it says about how to apply and see if I can do it right. Swirl a small amount of soft light powder using the kabuki brush. Tap off any excess. Apply to forehead, cheeks, nose and any area that you want to set and have makeup last longer. So it's basically saying to use it in the T-zone and cheeks. That's pretty much what I did, and I used this brush, which is kind of a kabuki. It's a small kabuki, isn't it? Let me give you a close-up now of where I just applied some on that side when I was talking about it. I was going to leave it in the whole video, and we'll see if my pores look any more blurred on that side. Okay, so I think you'll agree that there is a beautiful luminosity there, but it has also highlighted my pores. I feel like it has actually highlighted my pores there. It's sort of gathered in that area as opposed to just sort of sitting on top or disguising them at all. So for me, it hasn't blurred anything. I've also noticed I put a tiny bit here, and it's again gathering and looking like the colour of foundation is not quite right for me, but that's actually the powder, not the foundation. Let me put some on the other side so you can see, and then we'll zoom out and I'll put some on the rest of my face and you can see what it looks like zoomed out. So I've put some on the brush and tapped it, and I'm going to put it on my nose as well. Just buffing it in there. It's absolutely beautiful, but it just is, to me, is highlighting my flaws, unfortunately. Okay, so that is it all over my face, and I just think, and I don't know whether it will show up when on this video, but when I look in this mirror now, it looks like I've got patches of foundation here that are not quite right, a patch here. It just doesn't look good at all. I think that this would be a beautiful powder to use. For me, it would be good to use as a highlight, as a really soft highlight up here, because there is that beautiful luminosity to it. And I think it would be good to use if you have flawless skin. If you don't have problems with your skin that you're trying to cover up, I really don't think that this blurs at all in that sense. I think that if you've got pore problems like me, if you don't want to draw attention to your chin, etc., if you've got lovely skin, if you've got normal skin, I think this will give a really nice luminosity to the skin. Or if you like that sort of luminous look anyway, I think you'll love this. But for me, this is just an absolute no. Well, it's an absolute no as an all over powder. It's almost like a super intense hourglass, you know, the hourglass powders, and I never found them to be any good either. I know people love those, so if you love those, maybe it's just like Marmite, love or hate, and I just don't like those type of powders. But it's like a massively intensified hourglass. Which one would it be like? Probably one that I didn't try. I had the diffused light, that was my favourite, but even that I felt like just made me look too oily. So going forward, I'm not going to use this as an all over powder. I am going to try it as a highlight just on the top of my cheekbones and see what I think about using it that way. It's £32 for this, by the way, and you get 10 grams. I don't like the packaging, but you guys know I like small kind of sleek packaging, not this big chunky packaging, because this takes up, you know, a lot of room in my makeup bag, and I could have 4 products instead of this. But I am going to try it as a highlight because I know that this has sounded very negative, but it's negative because I don't think it suits me, and I don't think it will suit people to put it on their pores or, you know, areas that they don't want to attract attention to. But I think as a highlighter it might be nice because it's a beautiful powder. I cannot deny it's absolutely beautiful. It's got a lovely satiny finish. So that's everything to tell you about that. I will of course keep my eyes open for a dupe, and maybe even keep it for that reason so I can find a dupe. Let me know what you think of this, because like I said, there aren't many reviews on YouTube, and I haven't watched all the videos. I just looked and could see there were only a couple. So I'd love to know what everybody thinks about this, because I haven't read any reviews. I don't know what the general opinion is on this. Let me know if you've bought it and love it, or if you're having the same problems as me with it. Okay, you guys, that's us at the end of the video, and traditionally I don't like doing the thank you very much for watching, goodbye. It just always, I've never found a natural end, you know, it always feels a bit contrived. But I was recently watching Louise from Sprinkle of Glitter, and I've followed her for years, actually watched her for years, and I think she's lovely. And she did a great video, and it was actually called I'm Sorry, and what she was saying was that she had watched some of her videos, and a lot of it was her apologising for not having her hair straight and her makeup done properly or whatever it was. She also talked about a breakfast that she went to with women, and that she didn't say all the things she was proud of. She, at the end of her video, which I will link by the way because it's a fantastic video, she said she was going to list everything that she was proud of for herself, the things that she had achievements it was about, and she wanted everybody else to list what they were proud of in the comments. And it was so lovely to listen to, but it was also lovely to read the comments. And I generally don't read the comments of other people's videos. I'm not sure why. I suppose it's the time factor. I've generally only got time to watch a couple of videos, so I don't then have time to browse the comments. But I read the comments and I thought, wow, there's so many strong women out there. Like the first comment I think was, I'm a pregnant cancer patient, and that in itself just made me think, like, I need to stop moaning, you know, like if I'm in pain from my condition, there are people that are in 10 times as much pain as me. And so what I thought I'd like to do is kind of copy, if you like. I am going to let Louise know that I'm doing this, what she did, but do it at the end of each video. And so at the end of each video, as many times as I remember, that's the only problem, I will say one thing that I'm proud of, because I'm as guilty as the next woman of not giving myself enough praise. I think that's definitely a female trait, as Louise explained. So I will tell you one thing that I'm proud of, and I would love it if you would tell me one thing that you are proud of this week, this month, today, this year, whatever it may be, in the comments. Just let me know what you are proud of at the moment, or if you don't feel comfortable doing that, as with Louise, give support to other people that have said that they are proud of something. And I just think that was so lovely. And you guys know, I said at the start of the year, I really wanted to try and find a way to help other women, especially on YouTube. And this is just a great way of putting an addition to my channel, if you like, because I want my channel to be about saving people money, giving you the full information so you really know if you want to spend your hard-earned money on something, but also to make people feel better. So this is a way of doing that, I think. So this particular one, I will tell you that I am proud of being a childhood domestic abuse survivor, and that's actually one of the things that Louise had said, and she gave such a big list that it gives you great scope for the sorts of things that you can talk about being proud of, and the things that you wouldn't necessarily think of as having achieved. And that to me was one of them. I would certainly never say that in public, but even to myself, I would never think, actually, yes, I'm a survivor. I had a difficult childhood and a broken family and lots of dramas and violence and things like that. And my friend always tells me actually that she's surprised at how I've turned out and I've got through it, and so I'm very proud of that at the moment. So in the next video I'll tell you something else, but in the meantime I would love to hear what you are proud of. I will list all of my makeup in the description as usual. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.